So we are back with your weekly dose of the Marbella way, and there's so much more to talk about. We haven't even started yet. And what are we going to start with today?
We're going to talk about 10 sub-areas in Marbella. So these areas are some of the best in the whole country in Spain. And we should mention that we took the journey from Copenhagen in Denmark, where we lived for many, many years. We grew up in Denmark.
Hey, but before I get you started, because you can talk forever, we have to do the Marbella way, the daily dose.
That's
so
right.
let's start with that. Let's
Correct.
start with the most important thing to get
important
the show
important things
rolling.
first. Important things first.
Important
Yeah.
things.
So do you still have a license for that, or should I take over?
You're not taking over anything here, because I have the license. James Bond have a lot of license, but I have a license to exactly open bottles of this.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something?
But maybe point it in another direction.
There's nothing going to happen. I'm a pro, you know?
Yes. It's all about being professional and know what you talk about. And since we came 13 years ago to Marbella, spent I calculated almost 5,000 days in that hotspot.
Did you sit with
Is it fair to say that we know a little bit about the place?
We do.
Thank you.
How did you count them? Did you sit with a calendar?
I just actually used my calculator, which is obviously on my phone. I don't have an old time like.
Cheers to the Marbella way.
To the Marbella way. And let's start talking about what is the Marbella way.
Yeah. What is the Marbella way? There's a lot of ways in Marbella. I think you will say, right? All the ways lead to Rome. You have an expression that.
There was a very smart
leads to Marbella.
There was a very smart documentarist and poet called Luis. You remember him? He worked for the Spanish National Television Company and made about 80 documentaries. He said something smart. He said, "There's not one Marbella. There is a Marbella for each person who loves Marbella." The whole campaign that the whole region, Junta de Andalusia, which is the whole region, Andalusian region, is running on Times Square in New York. Actually, on the 4th month right now. It's pretty amazing, that campaign.
We will get that to LA soon.
Is about addiction, and it's about getting addicted, becoming addicted to Andalusia. Because once you've been there, you probably will. I can't guarantee, but you probably will.
I think
fall in love.
There's a big chance of getting addicted to this place. There's many reasons why.
There's let's say considerable chance.
So let's try to be more specific about. You are going to Marbella the first time. What area do you want to visit the first time, or where do you want to stay?
What I just want to say is, Louis said, there are many versions. Each have their own. So we create our own Marbella way. There are many patterns. Each of us choose what is our favorite, whatever restaurant, cafe, fitness center, hike, sport. We all get to tailor our own Marbella way. When we talk about the Marbella way, we talk about coming from Copenhagen. At that time, our son was 1 year old, and we came down to Spain, spent 13 years there. 2 kids were born there. A lot of things happened. We built a business, a life, got to know a lot of other cultures and other people, and got precious, precious experiences on the way. So that's our Marbella way, and that's what we're talking about. And so hopefully that will inspire. So the way that we're going to do this today, right, is we're going to talk about sub-areas to Marbella.
Yes, we are.
So the golden triangle, we have the golden triangle called, which is, let's say, the area between Benavís, which is it's kind of a mountain region, still close to the beach, but it's a mountain region.
And if you talk about the Benavís town, it's actually a little gastronomy gem. People will travel there in the evening or have a day trip.
That's right.
To either hike or have a gastronomy experience.
But we will have a whole session only for Benavís. It deserves more than one, actually. So Benavís and Estepona and Marbella.
So hang in there for a specific date when we release the Benavís.
Yeah. So Benavís, Estepona, and Marbella is the golden triangle. Marbella is on the coast, Estepona is on the coast, Benavís is a little bit up. Yes, that's the golden triangle. Today we focus on Marbella.
Yes.
29,600 Marbella. It's the postal code, and 10 sub-areas, right? So can you mention do you have a first area that you want to mention?
What pops into my mind first time when you enter Marbella, you have to visit Nueva Andalusia. It's like the new Andalusian, if you translate that.
So what's the first thing that happens? You're driving literally along the beach from, most likely from the airport in Malaga.
Yes.
Some people arrive to other airports, but let's say you arrive from Malaga, which is east, about 45 minutes east of Marbella. So you drive through and you see not the Hollywood sign, you see the Marbella sign.
True.
You enter through that and you follow along the ocean through Marbella, Old Town, and through Marbella and drive on the Golden Mile, and then you arrive in Nueva Andalusia, which is the biggest area in Marbella. What would you say about that area?
It's a very famous residential area. A lot of nice villas, apartments, but you also have a good, variety of cafes and restaurants. And you can walk. I will say it's quite walkable. You don't necessarily need to have a car to go there, but it's definitely a wonderful place to just hang out.
And it's also called the Golf Valley.
Yes.
Because it has these 3 amazing high level golf courses. Las Brisas, Los Naranjas, and Aloha. And they are all 3 very significant areas. So if we talk about Los Naranjas, it's a place where, let's say you go to the clubhouse in the golf club, and you can have an amazing lunch there. Even if you don't play golf, you'll like that place. So Los Naranjas is great.
And what I just want to say, what is very important to understand that if you don't play golf, people will still go to the golf courses to just have a lunch, breakfast, or have a coffee or a meeting. It's a to-go-to.
But having said that, a lot of people play golf in those clubs. It's like when you look at the screen of names of today's tournament, it's a lot of people
don't play golf.
And you will see a lot of Scandinavian names on the list as well. A lot of Scandinavians love the south of Europe because it's a climate that we didn't grow up with. We grew up with rain and snow. We still love our home countries. We have other things to offer in our little fairy tale Hans Christian Andersen countries. But in the south, the climate is just amazing. So that's why people go there to play golf. So Los Naranjas is one of the main areas in Nueva Andalusia, which is the biggest area in Marbella. Then we move over to Aloha. Aloha is another great golf club and area. And then you should mention...
And also recite the Aloha School, which is a very, very...
Big international school.
Big international school.
And the Aloha Strip. So what became...
Yeah, you sound like we're almost in Las Vegas. And that, don't make people get that expression.
It's a bit smaller than the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
But it is a strip. And it's very cozy.
Tiny bit smaller.
And it's got nice, small places. And one thing that we should mention about the Aloha Strip is that the great...
Did you invent that word, the
place,
Aloha Strip?
The great place Mush Kitchen was born right there. And they became huge in the entertainment industry, if we can talk about that in Marbella. That in Marbella mainly means events. It's not very much related to film. It is a bit, but not that much yet. But it probably will be.
And actually, if you talk about the Mush, they have the logo, like the slogan, "Mush made me do it."
Yes,
and they
it's
also
a good
have
slogan,
like
right?
pajamas party
to
there.
remove the responsibility a bit.
They have pajamas party there sometimes in the weekends.
Yeah.
So bring your pajamas, you drink champagne, and you have a brunch or breakfast.
And I think we should explain, because we actually know this concept. One of the best places ever in Copenhagen, it doesn't exist anymore, was called Conrad.
Yes.
And you actually worked there for a while before, when you were very, very young.
I was cleaning plates and taking care of the jackets.
The concept there, that's why it was so extremely successful, is that you come in, it's a combination of dining and going out. It's a combination of a nightclub and a very good place to have a dinner. And of course, unlike over here in America, you know, we don't shut down. It's like it continues until 5 in the morning. So you decide when you go home. Yes. So it just converts around midnight to a nightclub. And that's what Mush Kitchen did very well in not only Mush Kitchen, but other places as well on the coast. And it really is, I have to say, and it's the great thing about it is you can keep going out. You know, it's not like we only go out from when we are, let's say, 18 years old till 25.
No.
Now we have found a partner and we establish a family, and now we don't go out anymore.
What you're saying now is actually very crucial and very important to share about Marbella, because in Marbella it doesn't matter that if you are 25 years old or you are 75 years old or whatever you are finally knitting, you know, the company together. You don't care about the age. You are together with 25-year-old and you're together with 75-year-old.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I have, I remember quite a few, but just a couple of experiences where we've been at private parties where 3 generations have been dancing together. And another thing, and it sounds very prudent and very perfect but it is a different drinking culture than what we have in the north. In the north, it's a bit more extensive. People drink.
That's quite wild.
More, but in Spain, it's in general it's less. It's a bit more cultivated in that sense. You have a glass or 2, right? Yeah. So that means there can be kids as well at these places. So we've been dancing with 3 generations up to 90 years old in front of a chimney in a villa, I remember, and it was Yeah, you
don't separate adults and kids.
No.
Other kids are present or they're swimming in the pool, of course, if not late night. But you have a very fine thing.
So in fact, it requires that the adults are behaving in a let's say, in a nice. How can you say that? In a proper way, and I would definitely say that they do. They definitely have fun, but they're not. It's absolutely a kids-friendly environment as well, which allows those overlaps. And it's a bit back to the birthday party concept. That also involves, it's a great party. A kids party is as good, even better sometimes,
it's amazing.
As good at least for the adults than for the kids, right? So it's this generational thing. We definitely
have to come around kids parties another episode. But if you go back to the areas where to visit, we
covered the 3 main areas in Nueva Andalusia, which is Los Naranjas, Aloha, and Las Brisas, right? Yes. And it's called the Gulf Valley. It's known for these golf courses, and it's just it's a really, really nice place.
It's definitely a must-go.
And you're very much in the middle. You can go from there. You can go to the left or the right on the coast, so east or west, and you have great options on both sides. And if you go straight ahead towards the ocean, you have Puerto Banús.
Yes.
Right, and that's the second.
And that is the flagship in Marbella. Puerto Banús, and everyone will know that in the world very soon. Puerto Banús is a very iconic place.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's have a harbor. You still have old, charming buildings. You have, it's just a must-go-to place. You can be on the beach as well. You can have the shopping. It will cater a lot of different needs to go to Puerto Banús. And if you just want to have a big addiction to see flashy cars, you will go there too.
I mean, you will see absolutely amazing cars and yachts and boats, so definitely. But to be honest, if you really want the big yachts, it's actually Monaco.
Yes.
That's.
I didn't want to say that.
But I'm just going to say
it's
absolutely.
Yes.
You can say glamorous, but it's also cozy. It is about the cars and the boats, but it's very cozy at the same time. So Puerto Banús is definitely a very important place to go.
And I think Puerto Banús is getting better and better every time.
Beach, restaurants, nice vibe, and fashion.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It definitely caters all needs.
And then you should mention...
You just walk to everything.
If you ever need anything, whether it's clothes or a very good supermarket, we should mention El Corte Inglés.
Yes.
It is the best
equal to
shopping center supermarket in Spain.
Yes.
And the flagship is actually Puerto Banús.
Yes.
And it's just like, it's fun talking about a shopping center.
Now we just have to find a shopping.
It's a nice shopping center.
Talk about shopping, because of course we have to mention the brands which are in there, like Christian Dior, you have D Squared, you have Valentino, you have a lot of different things.
It's high. It's fair to say it's high end.
Senya, you have Stone Island, and also for kids it's a mecca of shopping. Yeah, and you even have favorite spots on the top, which is Club de Gourmet.
Yeah,
like the gourmet club.
It's funny, and it's actually a very important place to mention because nobody would ever expect that you go to a shopping center and then you go to the top floor.
Yeah.
It's actually not the top floor because the actual top floor is a co-working space for a lot of quite successful entrepreneurs from Europe, all over Europe. So that's the top floor. But the top floor in the shopping center, there you have this gourmet department, and it's
every day they have
really
fresh caught fish, local fish, and they have like caviar. They even have oysters. They have what I have to mention is that there is connected with this Club de Gourmet, which is like a tapas bar or a restaurant. a shopping environment around it. So you can actually go and take the things in the supermarket and tell to the chef or tell to the staff there, can you do this for me? I want to have, let's say, foie gras, or I want to have like this special pastrami. They will take it to the kitchen and prepare it for you.
Yeah.
That's quite unique.
And is it possible to get a glass of bubbles there as well?
Absolutely. I feel like we talk a lot about bubbles.
Are you sure?
I'm very positive.
Or are you just guessing?
I'm not guessing. Been there many times.
So yeah,
and I don't know what, I just find it so charming.
And then funny enough, next to the gourmet department, right, you have a cafeteria, something as old school as a cafeteria. And
then you
depending on mood, I like the cafeteria too. Once in a while, it's very rare. It's only about maximum 50 days a year, normally less on the Spanish south coast. It rains, and it's really a special feeling. It's obviously very healthy for the whole environment. It's the vegetation and everything is fresh and everything. So in that sense, it's great, and actually it's good for the water resources. So we can find many reasons to enjoy the rain that we get only in average once a day in Spain. But when that happens, the cafeteria is one of the places I just like to sit there and work and be and have a coffee. It's nothing fashionable, but in rainy weather for contemplation and reflection, I recommend the cafeteria. And then, of course, you can always shift over to the gourmet department.
We have to mention, if you go to the cafeteria there, you have to visit Antonio. You say hi to Antonio, because he is the best waiter there.
Waiter in Marbella.
Yeah. Say hi to Antonio when you are in the cafeteria.
And if you see him one day in his own private space in San Pedro, you will see him on a horse. And he will ride his horse in the street.
Spanish gentleman.
Yeah.
And he
gives the best service you can get. We get a hug when we come, and he's so friendly. Antonio. You remember once we had a kids party in our garden, and he was mixing drinks, and it was he is very genuine in his way of servicing people.
So go to
good-hearted.
the cafeteria in El Corte Inglés and say hi to Antonio. That
was enough about Puerto Banús. So let's go to another area.
We have to go back to that subject because we have to dive into the wonderful place of El Corte Inglés another day. But back to the areas.
In any case, Puerto Banús is definitely a hot spot. It's a place to go. You have to go there, and it's a very famous place.
We should actually mention the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. It will be like the Walk of Fame in Hollywood in Marbella.
We should actually mention Picasso, which is a family restaurant in the harbor, and we owned by very nice people, and it's a family restaurant, and
I've been there for a long time.
One of the greatest things about that place, apart from huge portions, American size, even Americans won't be disappointed. So you go in there, it's very simple, but they have, I think it's 2,000 people in average per day. That's not a coincidence. When people don't remember the name of the place, they talk about, oh, you mean the place where there's always a queue?
Yeah, always a queue there.
And we're not talking a small queue, we're talking all the way down the port.
Of a location point. It's just find out where the queue is. And
if you look for the queue and it's in the middle of Puerto Banús, you will always see a queue.
Yeah.
So that's where Picasso is.
Right.
So it's the most famous restaurant on Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
And they deserve it because it's a family restaurant. So whenever anybody has birthday, it's the best. What can you say? First of all, you get a very big chocolate cake, right?
Big chocolate
Huge.
Cake.
Enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And then they play a tune.
Celebration cake.
They play a tune. And it's not, and people
no, close the light.
Get up.
We have to have the full version.
Okay,
so if you have birthday and you want to entertainment and you just want to do something special, if you have kids, you go there, you say to the waiter, hey, we have a birthday, we want the cake. So they come in with a big cake, celebration cake, with candles in, beautiful decorated. They close the light in the whole restaurant, and then it's like party going on. It's like happy birthday.
Party. And one of the things from
and the restaurant is like getting alive. People starting dancing and
And from a business point of view, it's very interesting to see. First of all, most people take part in the little birthday celebration because the way that they did it with the music and the lights, it's like a discotheque, right? So it engages people, and I'm sure business-wise, it's a good idea because people start ordering drinks because it turns into a party, and every single time you are there, somebody has birthday. So it's.
Sometime I go there, I feel like maybe we should just order a birthday cake because I just want to have birthday today.
Yeah.
You know, just order that birthday cake, just pretend it is your birthday,
And
just to have the experience.
We've never been there without balloons being available for the kids.
Right, and sometimes
even when they
entertainment
start smashing the balloons, they get more balloons, right?
Yes.
That's just how it is.
So-
And that's one thing I want to mention about this place. It's very rare. When you order, you get your food very quickly,
Yes.
and that's a guarantee. When you ask for the bill, it won't. If you time it, it won't take 25 seconds.
That's true. So it's definitely very important to point out. If you are in Puerto Banús, the area you have to visit, it's a must-go place.
And
Picasso in Puerto Banús.
And they only have 80 waiters employed, so it tells a little bit about the efficiency and size of the place. So that was Puerto Banús. Let's go to another area.
Just to add to that, there's a lot of amazing places in Puerto Banús. It's
Of
just
course.
one of them.
It is one of them, yeah. But it's a very significant
Yes.
one of them. It's not actually just one of them. It is actually, there's not two Picassos. There's only one on the whole coast. Not
I
only in
just wanted
Marbella,
to
but on
be
the whole
very
coast.
political correct, you know?
Yeah, but in there, as a family restaurant,
Yes,
it's number one.
it is number one.
As a family restaurant, it's
Absolutely.
number one. So otherwise, you wouldn't refer to it as the place with the queue.
No.
So
Nothing can beat that.
let's go a little bit east, because from Puerto Banús to Marbella, El Pirulí is the entrance to the actual old town of Marbella. It's approximately 5 kilometers.
Yes.
And that stretch is called the Golden Mile. And that obviously is, it kind of leads to the thought that it's exclusive, and it is exclusive, and very nice properties, very nice high-level real estate, beautiful hotels. We talked about Marbella Club, Puente Romano, is on that stretch, and actually Don Pepe as well. So we go. So Golden Mile as an area, how would you, as a sub area in Marbella, how would you describe that?
So I think, if I'm not very wrong, it's one of the most exclusive, areas to live in Marbella. We're talking about prices per square feet or square meters, the
Yeah.
Golden Mile, and
Yeah.
you know that if you can talk about that, because it is a to-go place. It's a landmark. The Golden Mile and the new Golden Mile, but the Golden Mile is a landmark in Marbella,
Yeah.
and that I think you will refer to that. Go to the Golden Mile and have.
But it's the walking distance trip for everything. And it's the long, beautiful stretch. You can go there
Yeah, and
as
if you
much as
just,
you want. And you have
it's just next to the
great
beach.
restaurants, cafes,
2 minutes
hotels
walk
on that
the beach.
stretch. Like an abundance of places very close by. So the proximity is top of the top. Right?
If you go a little bit
it's
further
very-
up in the mountains, you have the area of Nagueles, which is also a very nice place to live if you're looking for, more permanent residence or holiday residence. Nagueles is a wonderful place. and they
Nagueles-
have the Butchinga Clinic is like a health resort or health
Yes.
rehab.
Yeah.
You can go there for various different purposes, but it's located in Nagueles.
And Nagueles is just on top of Golden Mile, just as Nueva Andalusia is on top of Puerto Banús. So that's correct. But back to Golden Mile, the place there is another thing that I think should be mentioned is that is the signature bridge or one of the landmarks in Marbella. We talked about La Concha as the signature mountain of Marbella, but the bridge in front of Marbella Club, which is halfway when you walk on the Golden Mile, is also a landmark. You see that bridge in everywhere when you talk about Marbella in various pictures and and commercials and so on. You see that bridge. It's beautiful, and it is a very beautiful. Not only the bridge, but if you go out on the bridge, the views you have to both sides on the beach and to the mountains, it's absolutely awesome. It's very, very beautiful. So that was a little bit about Golden Mile, right? And then you talked about Nagueles. And if we then talk about the area that borders up to Nagueles, it's Sierra Blanca,
Yes.
right? And that is the elevated luxury residential resort,
Yeah.
villa resort.
It's a gated villa resort. Everything is gated. The security is 24/7. And if you want to live in a villa with a little bit of, I would say, a view as well. Not all the villas have a view, but you want to go to Sierra Blanca.
It's sometimes you have to pay 10 million euros plus to get a view in that location. Whereas other locations, you can get a view for a much smaller amount. But a view is pretty precious and quite costly in that particular area, because it is a very, very exclusive area. It's just in between La Concha, the mountain, and the ocean, and then you have in front as well the old town, the town of Marbella. So you're very central but elevated. Whereas if we jump to another area, just to have to compare it, La Sagaleta, we talked about it before. That is a beautiful, beautiful country resort as well. But obviously, you're a little bit further because it's in a mountain area. It's 15 minutes to the coast.
If you want to compare this, you want the peace. If you want peace, you go to Sagaleta. If you want to be around where everything is happening, you will buy a property in Sierra Blanca.
Yeah, I don't know how you would, what comparison you would make here around Los Angeles, but you'd probably, according to my knowledge, you could be, if you're in Beverly Hills.
So you live in Bel Air.
I would compare Beverly Hills
to
Bel Air. Sierra Blanca, Marbella, right? Because you're still in the city, in the exclusive part of the city. Whereas if you go to some of the hills, that would be more equivalent to La Sagaleta, right?
But very different.
Still very different, but it's just
because you cannot enter Sagaleta without a permission from the owner.
No. You can't even go in.
No, you cannot. Just I want to take a stroll to Sagaleta to see the area. No, you cannot. No. You will be stopped by the security guard, and there's like fence everywhere. Yeah. So that's a big difference, because in the hill you can actually stroll around and see the beautiful villas they have.
Yeah.
So that's a difference.
Yeah.
But back to Sagaleta.
So let's go to another important area, Guadalmina, and especially Guadalmina Baja, meaning.
Favorite area.
Baja means down, so that's towards the beach. Alto is up. So
that's
all areas.
So it's actually separated. Guadalmina Baja, and then we have Guadalmina Alta.
Yes.
But you want to talk about Guadalmina Baja?
Yeah, because that is an area that should be in the same category as Sierra Blanca and La Sagaleta and El Matronal, which we'll talk about in a second. But Guadalmina Baja, towards the beach, is just a few kilometers, 3 kilometers west of Puerto Banús. So still very close. But it's a very quiet residential neighborhood with beautiful boulevards.
Stylish.
Yes. With
environment. Beautiful
big villas with big gardens. And
big gardens.
Very big gardens.
Very big gardens.
It's what else? Guadalmina, actually, we have to mention an amazing restaurant in Guadalmina Baja.
Restaurant Ramiro. It's a must go. I said must go many times, but I really mean it's a very beautiful place. You will have experience in there that you will rarely find somewhere else. Yeah.
You will.
It's like we go back to the 50s, I think, or 40s.
Yeah.
That type of place you want to go to if you want an authentic experience in Marbella.
And talking about that, you know it's a very big passion, but it is for both of us, that one important reason that we went on the Marbella way is that apart from this cosmopolitan international touch culture that you find in Marbella, which is exciting, it's multicultural, you have this authentic cultural area or various areas around Marbella that it's like the old world. It is as it used to be. And talking about that, on the way here, we talked about your favorite Danish TV series, Matador. Matador, right?
Yes.
And that culture was actually existing in our country before we were born. So we know it through our parents and grandparents. And we know elements of it, but we didn't really live in it. But when we came to the south of Spain, we found that.
We got it back.
And then you have that as a parallel world. You can always dive into authenticity, into real food, people.
And what does it
never
mean
changed.
To be like? It's just mean like people are present, people are genuine.
Yeah.
People are it just have an old soul experience. People will still write Christmas cards to you.
Yeah.
You know, it will be present in the conversation you have.
Yeah.
Like if you just look at a picture or a video from 1930 or 40s, you will see people have conversations with each other.
Yeah.
They will stand in a bus stop and look at a newspaper. Now everyone is looking at the phone because people nowadays don't feel comfortable just being present. And I think that's a very shame in our society.
But it's one of the big compliments.
But you get a little touch of that when you go back to Marbella because it's very authentic and very.
But it's one of the big compliments we definitely can give to Spain, because it's not only in Marbella. It's around Marbella. It's in all the other cities, towns, villages in Andalusia, and it's in Madrid. It's all over Spain. But of course, the more you reach Central Europe, when you go towards the north, it becomes more Central European. So it changes a bit. But that traditional side of Spain, it's very significant, and it definitely makes the country one of the most visited, along with France, tourist destinations in the world. Because people, I guess, like us, when they travel, whether they want to stay permanently or just for a week or 2 days or 3 days, I think people are looking for real experiences, and they're looking for character, for culture, something that makes this place significant, something that makes this different from what I come from. And that was why we went the Marbella way from Copenhagen. We came from Denmark. We know Denmark very well, and we still love it, and we'll go back now and then. But we've been there, and we just like to try something else that challenges us and our understanding of ourselves, and also gives us the opportunity to appreciate traditions, appreciate the old world. And I hope and believe and pray that will stay in Spain, in Marbella, because it makes it magical.
That's very true.
So what
we're going back to, we talk about the
areas,
restaurant,
and this all came from Guadalmina.
It all came from the Restaurante Remiro.
Yeah.
And next to that is actually just at the beach. It's not, will not sit at the beach, but it's just next to the beach in Guadalmina. And you have the Golf Hotel, which have been recently renovated as well. Yeah. It's just a little charming area with a lot of, authenticity. Exactly.
So bordering up to Guadalmina. Now we have San Pedro de Alcántara, which is, it's just literally same location. It's just a little bit up and a little bit east. It's a big place. San Pedro is big. It's a Spanish town. It's the most Spanish town that we have, like the biggest and the most Spanish town we have in that area. And so that's where you can always go if you want to be in Spain.
Yeah.
You're in Marbella, but you want to be in Spain, you can go to San Pedro.
I will always recommend people to go to San Pedro. If they are in Marbella and they want to stay in an apartment, I think, and you want a bit of culture as well, and the old charming Spain, you want to stay in San Pedro, because you have the city, which is not a city, but a little village, and then you can just stroll around to the beach, or stroll to the beach, or go to the beach.
Totally unique thing about the place, if you compare to other places, is it's quite flat on the beach side. So everything is walkable. You can take your bicycle, your scooter. It's very easy to get around.
Yeah.
So that and the whole beachfront, the promenade, is also a very cozy place with nice restaurants you find down there, authentic, nice places.
Yeah.
And then of course we have to mention IO, which is by far an absolutely outstanding
all the gyms
place
in the world
to get in shape or stay in shape.
Big shout out to IO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the brand is beautiful and the place is beautiful. So it deserves that we just mention IO stands for input output. So it just simply means that what you put in, you get out. So in terms of results, whatever you want to achieve in life or in the fitness, gym, yoga, whatever you do, whatever you put in, you get out in terms of positive results. So that's it's an amazing concept, quite new. It's only a few years old, and it's just in the same location as one of the biggest paddle clubs, NEC, standing for Nueva Andalusia Paddle Tennis Club.
Nueva Alcántara, right?
Nueva Alcántara.
Yes.
Paddle NAC. Yeah.
And the place is definitely in the hands of the best entrepreneurs we have around.
Yes. And then the restaurant, so it's 3 in 1.
Yeah.
Breathe, Soul. One of their concepts. And it's a nice place where you can have breakfast, lunch, and
vice versa.
Yeah. Very healthy drinks and other types of drinks and anything you want. So that is in San Pedro. So that was another sub area. It's great for kids. On the whole boulevard, there's a playground. It's a place where, all generations love
And
San
what is
Pedro.
also important to mention, if you are traveling with kids, there is like a boulevard there. You have a playground in the middle. There's a restaurant where you can, if you just want to have a coffee or drink while you're watching your kids, you can sit there.
Yeah.
There's in the other end, there's another play area, and you can have food there as well. Tapas.
Yeah.
Hosting good birthdays. It's all in that little stretch of the boulevard in San Pedro.
It's very nice that they made it in a way where your kids can have fun and you can sit and have
I think
a
that's
coffee
a totally
with your friend.
Fantastic place to have that, to bring the families together, because it's very rarely that you are, both bringing your kids and you have fun as well as adult.
Yeah, it's no secret that we definitely support the lifestyle where people come together, families come together, friends come together, that not everything is in a silo, that, okay, you're 7, so you go over there, you belong in that club, and you're 89, so you belong in that club. And that whole way to institutionalize and put life into segments is not organic. We really like the organic lifestyle where people meet across ages and cultures, right? And I
think it's also a good way to educate your kids. You have to understand and be together with all kinds of people, nationalities.
Totally.
Religions.
They'll have to deal with some nationalities you won't meet in the, and they're not adapted to any other culture than their own. So they'll have to deal with people from various countries on the playground as well. Right. So that was San Pedro. What else should we say about San Pedro?
So we have San Pedro, we have the Guadalmina Baja. You want to talk about El Madronial?
El Madronial is important, but let's take La Quinta first. So when we are in San Pedro, we are bordering up to Nueva Andalusia that we started talking about, and then we have La Quinta, which is just between. La Quinta is between San Pedro, Nueva Andalusia, and Benavis. And La Quinta is totally upcoming. It's the new place to get your luxury villa. It's a place where it's you get a better price because it's totally central. And actually, I think the location is absolutely amazing because you're, as I said, you're between Benavis, which is a fantastic place, San Pedro, amazing place, and Nueva Andalusia. You're right there in the middle. So you have a lot of choices from there. But as a destination, La Quinta is not that famous yet.
No,
it's not as famous as when you talk about La Sagaleta and
West End Hotel, which is a very nice hotel, by the way.
Which is where Liverpool, the team, they stay when they visit. They always stay there. So people go there to meet the Liverpool
But it's probably the only place you can walk to if you're staying in La Quinta. Of course, you have Monte Halcones, which is also like a tiny little place.
We should say about La Quinta as well that is where the top football teams in the world come. Actually, 200 teams per year. All the teams, national teams, football clubs in Europe go there to train.
Marbella
and that is
Center.
because Marbella Football Center. And that is why, that is the reason for that, of course, is they have a reputation for the best training facilities. The grass is very special. Apparently, that is very, very important.
Grass is always green on the side.
The grass is
That's
very
the slogan.
green, by the way. It's very green. I remember when we were there, we touched the grass with the owner, and he's from Belgium.
But he had like a long description
this grass is
about
special.
The grass.
It's very tight, so it means when you kick the ball, it doesn't stop. It continues. There's very little friction on the field, and the teams love that. So that's the signature of Marbella Football Club.
And also have like a fitness
tailored for football.
Yes.
And another
fitness element.
And another great thing about that whole very successful football center is that it brings these famous football players and their families to Marbella. So it means they have to do things when the husband is playing football. The wives and the kids have to go somewhere. So they will go and do things, shopping or go to the. So it just another example of a dynamic that brings life and to Marbella from all over Europe in this case, because most players.
And the owner certainly did a very, very good job bringing this spirit and team spirit together.
Very, very impressive job, yeah.
With the families,
yes,
hand in hand.
Yeah. So that was La Quinta.
Marbella Football Center, La Quinta, the West End Hotel.
And then, exactly, and then we go over to El Madronial. which is when you go up Ronda Road. So when you're in San Pedro and you want
And
to
we actually lived there before.
That's right. So if you want to go to Ronda, which is the wine district, it's 1 hour uphill from San Pedro. You can, on your right side, you have the whole residential area. It's a countryside living residential area called El Metronial. So absolutely amazing area. It's wow. It's very hard to say when you look at 20 diamonds. Oh, this is just better than that. They're all special, right? But El Metronial is absolutely so authentic, so Spanish. You can hear the wild boars at night. You can hear the birds. It's very natural. You're in nature, basically. So that's on the right side of Ronda Road when you drive up there.
And as far as I remember, they have gate 126 up there.
126, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then on the left side, you have La Zagaleta. So those two country-style residential areas, very high-end areas, is just on the Ronda Road, on each side of the road. Big areas. And one big, actually, progress, one big good news and development for Metronial is it's actually being connected with La Quinta now. And it was not connected before. So on the coast, it makes a big difference in the infrastructure when all these areas we talk about, when they get connected in new ways. Because obviously they are all connected. If you drive down on the coastal highway, you will obviously be able to go everywhere. But you have to go down there first, and you have to go back up if you live there. So that's the whole thing about the timing and the driving and everything else. So when those areas starts to get connected behind directly, it makes a big difference. First of all, it means less traffic on the main road, and it means you can travel much faster from A to B. So that's a great thing that La Quinta and El Metronial is being connected.
And there's a fabulous restaurant up there.
Oh yeah,
which is El Coto.
Amazing place, place with views all over the coast, and but it's been refurbished.
Very elegant.
And in fact, we haven't been there since it got refurbished. So that's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Because it was one of our favorite places. Very authentic Spanish. It's just like sitting on the countryside.
Yeah.
And in the hills.
It's definitely a Marbella way experience.
Oh yes, it is. It has the flavor. It has the flavor. So let's finish with one last area. Let's go down to Golden Mile, Puente Romano. If you go from there, we have Altas de Puente Romano, which is an area just above the hotel.
Which is where they have the Starlight Festival as well.
Yeah.
I mentioned that last time, where people, famous people, or music people, whatever you say, actors from around the world are coming every year to have a festival in the suburbs, or in this, the natural area of Altos.
Yes. So what else can you say about the area? I mean, it's obviously close to Puente Romano Hotel, which is kind of the center of the Golden Mile, right? If we should talk about a center in Copenhagen, it's Kongens Nytorv, right? It's where D'Angleterre is. That is the center of the city, right? You have something similar in New York, London, whatever, right? But in Marbella, it's Puente Romano, and this area is very close. It's very nearby. So the people who buy property there or who wants to be there, they do it because it's close to Puente Romano and Golden Mile.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a classy little sub area with Spanish style, authentic Spanish style, right? Mm-hmm. So any other sub areas we should mention today? We did mention a few, what do you think?
I think the last, what did we
forget?
Cherry on the pie, or the cream on the cake, or what would you say?
What is that?
Ooh.
La Virginia you already mentioned. That's one of the cherries.
As well as one of my favorite hotels is there.
Yeah.
Is the Villa Perdiarna.
Oh yes.
And it's in.
Also Los Flamingos. That's another sub area. So if we stay in the terminology sub areas, but now you have moved a little bit out towards Estepona.
It deserves to be mentioned.
So we're not in Marbella anymore. So we should
You're
cover.
Still on edge, right? We're on the edge.
I know you just want to have it in because you love that place, but strictly speaking, it's not a Marbella sub area.
You know.
To be very fact checking.
Right, okay.
Like
so you
real
disapprove the fact checking. That's fine.
Yeah.
But okay, so like forget about that. But we
scientifically
have to
speaking, right?
Los Flamencos, Villa Perdiarna.
Yes.
And what I want to say about that is, so back to when we drive from the airport towards Marbella, just before you enter the Marbella sign, equal to Hollywood sign, there is actually a beach stretch, which was owned to Villa Perdiarna many years. And now it's the Four Seasons have that resort.
That was actually a very relevant area to mention because that's called Rio Real, and that is Marbella. It's East Marbella, so that's totally important to mention. And there's a lot of new developments
where Enrique Iglesias or Julio Iglesias have his beachside villa.
I think it's Antonio Banderas actually, if I remember correctly.
It's totally.
He's a local, by the way.
Yes, it's
so he's a total local. He is living. He loves Marbella and Malaga. Malaga is a whole different story.
And he's part owner of the bar El Pimpi.
A lot of episodes to cover Malaga. So let's keep out of Malaga right now. We have more than enough to do in Marbella right now. So Rio Real, full of new developments and one of the most traditional and beautiful golf courses is right there.
And Trocadero, there's a lot of different Trocaderos, but another Trocadero is on the beach.
Trocadero on the beach.
Which is like Karen Blixen.
Trocadero on the beach. It's created like a South African atmosphere.
Africa.
So it's like being part of a safari right there on the beach. It's special, right?
Special.
Then we have to mention, now that you got us over to East Marbella, we have to mention Los Monteros.
Because I was not allowed to talk about Villa Periana, so I was like, okay, well, how can I get myself back in that
away.
area?
So you went all the way you went totally west of Marbella into towards Estepona and Benavís, right? But now we are totally in the opposite direction on the east side, which is Los Monteros, Rio Real. Los Monteros has the Los Monteros Hotel, which is one of the three first classy, stylish, amazing hotels.
La Cabana, which is where Dolce & Gabbana have the beach club right now.
Yeah, they just
I'm not sure
took it over.
Up or what it is.
It was called La Cabana, right?
La Cabana.
And it was La Cabana, and it was taken over by Dolce & Gabbana.
But it's still called La Cabana by Dolce & Gabbana, something like that.
Yes, but they took it over.
And if there's some fact checkers out there,
I mean, it was already very amazing, but I'm sure it's probably, I don't know, it has a design touch now for sure, but it was great before too, right? It's very much used for weddings and things like that. So that was Los Monteros, you could say as well. Now we're talking beach side, Los Monteros. Mountain side, so Altas, we go up now. You have a residential area, which is, you have the best views actually from there. So it's important, it's good to mention.
We don't know if we're going to talk about something like, not very political correct, but a lot of buildings were built up in Los Altos de Monteros because of the old mayor, Jesus Gil.
And it's an area, I mean, honestly speaking, I would not personally actually recommend buying anything there, because I mean, if your main preference is just you want the best views in Marbella, okay, do it. But the thing is, you have 10 minutes down to the coast, and it just seems like a long time because there's nothing on the way down. So and there's no restaurants, not any shopping, nothing. But if you want to drive up a hill and have the best view and have nothing around you, no activity, no shopping, that could be the place.
If you're just looking for peace for you and your family,
and the prices up there are quite very, very reasonable for that reason, because it's not like there's not anything else than your house,
your peace,
or apartment, your peace, on the mountain with beautiful views. It's important to say.
Views.
Yeah. Any other sub areas we should mention today? Because we have been through.
I think we covered almost all of them.
Okay.
So it's a good start. A good start for 10 places to go.
So, but how can we just reflect a little bit on the? It's just like, it feels like. Sometimes I think, are we totally over exaggerating? We talk, one area is like it's more amazing than the other, but I'm just like, what can I say? They are great.
Everyone had their own version.
But the funny thing is, we've only talked about. It feels like we talked about a lot of areas around Marbella right now, but there's so much we haven't said still, even about Marbella. And then we didn't go into Benavís, we didn't go into Estepona. There are other huge areas.
It will be a whole testament if we have to talk about all the areas. All urbanization is like it will be for one forever.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not living up to the big phenomena these days, which is shorts, right? 10 seconds.
I've never been
that's
good
a commercial
shorts.
way. 10
I'm
seconds.
bad at shorts.
We don't do shorts.
Like
we
men are very good to
shorts right now, at least.
Put like both things very short, and women are like, we can do it forever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So short is not my thing.
But it's a great thing if you think about it, that we could talk about Marbella almost all day.
Definitely.
It does tell something. It is a testament.
It's a special place.
About that place.
So, when you're in Marbella, A lot of different places to go to. You find out what you want. You find out what is your thing.
Yeah.
If you want to golf, if you want wellness, if you want peace, if you want party, if you want to stay on the beach the whole day. A lot of different places.
But another thing we should actually mention, and it's not a surprise to anyone because everybody knows now that the big luxury we have is that we can actually work from anywhere in the world. So, and not only that, flights are much cheaper than ever before. So we can travel and we can work from any location. So we should mention, because it's like we talk about a holiday resort, is do people work at all or do they just party and go for dinners? But there are, in fact, people working there as well. And a lot of those people have companies all over Europe and they're actually able to travel.
Yes.
And come down, spend maybe, if they're lucky, half of the time in Marbella, half of the time somewhere else, wherever it is, London, Warsaw, Copenhagen, Berlin, Paris. That's where people come from, and they just enjoy staying as much as they can in the paradise, recharging their batteries with the best vitamin D dose in Europe.
So one thing is,
and they deal with
the
emails at nighttime.
If you go to Marbella, you will be elevated. That's
for sure. Yeah. You will.
And that's the Marbella way.
You don't even have to
be
go
elevated
on the mountain like consciously, but you will definitely get elevated there. But the place in itself will elevate. It will. So that was
the last spoken word for today. Be elevated. Go to Marbella. The Marbella way. Live the Marbella way.
And now the glass is actually half, not even half full right now.
It's totally half full.
Okay, so let's say it's more than half full.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To live the Marbella way.
To the Marbella way.